Robert Trump, Donald's younger brother, spent at least 10 days in an intensive care unit before being released this week and launching legal action to try and stop the publication of his niece's explosive tell-all book, Too Much and Never Enough: How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man, according to multiple people familiar with the situation.
Robert, 72, had been at Mount Sinai Hospital's Neurosciences Intensive Care Unit (NSICU) in New York since at least June 11, being treated for a serious condition. He was discharged on Sunday and, despite his stay in the hospital, he wasted no time in filing and signing complicated legal documents aided by his celebrity attorney Charles Harder and releasing a statement.
Her attempt to sensationalize and mischaracterize our family relationship after all of these years for her own financial gain is both a travesty and injustice to the memory of my late brother, Fred, and our beloved parents. I and the rest of my entire family are so proud of my wonderful brother, the president, and feel that Mary's actions are truly a disgrace, Robert said in his statement to the New York Times roughly 48 hours after he was discharged from hospital.
On its website, Mount Sinai boasts that its 16-bed NSICU specializes in state-of-the-art, compassionate care of patients who suffer from subarachnoid hemorrhage, acute ischemic stroke, intracerebral hemorrhage, subdural hematomas, coma, tumors of the brain and spine, severe or prolonged seizures, neuroinfections, and spinal cord injury, among others.
Robert did not respond to multiple requests for comment Wednesday, and his attorney, Harder, declined to comment.
Mary Trump's high-powered legal team, which includes the renowned First Amendment attorney Theodore Boutros of the law firm Gibson Dunn, are expected to file their response in the coming days. Part of their argument in Mary's defense will be that the settlement agreement, signed by all parties in 2001 and included in Harder's temporary restraining order (TRO) filing, contains confidentiality clauses that are in effect double-facing, meaning that as well as muzzling Mary from speaking publicly, it also was meant to have silenced Donald, Robert and their sister Marianne Trump. The president, the argument goes, has himself violated the confidentiality agreement by publicly discussing his niece and her book, which is currently slated for a July 28 release, in an interview at the White House last week. She's not allowed to write a book. You know, when we settled with her and her brother, who I do have a good relationship with, she's got a brother, Fred, who I do have a good relationship with, but when we settled, she has a total, signed a non-disclosure, Trump told the website Axios on Friday, in regards to Mary's tell-all. The volley of threats all come during the latest stage of the dynastic drama and brewing legal struggle threatening to consume the Trump family, even as Donald J. Trump continues his fight this year to keep the White House from falling into Democratic hands. Even before the president's brother, represented by Harder, one of President Trump's personal attorneys and the Gawker killing lawyer, filed the order against Mary in Queens County Surrogate's Court this week, Trump had actively weighed his options for legal retribution against his own niece. After he was caught off guard by the news of the upcoming tell-all, he vented aloud in the White House that she'd signed an NDA, as the Daily Beast first reported. White House spokespeople did not respond to a request for comment on this story. A rep for Simon & Schuster declined to comment. And it's not just Mary who has to deal with Trump world's legal threats and court battles. Trump administration attorneys and his outside counsel have been hard at work this election year, one already plagued by a destroyed American economy, a mass protest movement in the wake of the police killing of George Floyd, and a coronavirus pandemic that's claimed a U.S. death toll upwards of 100,000, as the president goes to war against new books and manuscripts penned by his foes, including his former national security advisor John Bolton and his former longtime fixer and lawyer Michael Cohen. President Trump's lawyers are also seeking to uphold other long-standing NDAs. For years, Jessica Denson, a former Hispanic outreach coordinator for the 2016 Trump campaign, has been working her way through the courts in her efforts to invalidate not just her own Trump NDA, but all NDAs that the Trump campaign had staff sign. All of our employees sign a non-disclosure agreement, Michael Glassner, chief operating officer for Trump's 2020 campaign, told the Daily Beast in a statement last year. In court papers, Denson and her lawyers argue that the agreements that Team Trump forced on them were unlawful and failed to allow staffers to make claims regarding workplace discrimination. President Trump is clearly NDA happy, David Bowles, one of Denson's attorneys, said on Wednesday evening. He has used NDAs to suppress his supporters and former supporters, and invalidating those NDAs is the point of our current class action. Now he's trying to suppress his own family members using an NDA. All of this is intended to quash the criticism that is at the heart of a vibrant democracy.
Denson added, I am not willing to be one of the many who Trump has abused, or to be used as a tool for him to abuse the American people and presidency, and that is why I am fighting to invalidate his dastardly NDAs.
A New York judge has tossed an application by President Donald Trump's brother to try and halt the publication of his niece Mary Trump's book, Too Much and Never Enough: How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man.
Queens County Surrogate Court Judge Peter Kelly cited several improprieties in Robert Trump's filing that rendered it fatally defective, including that it was based on the official disposition of Patriarch Fred Trump Sr.'s estate, which wrapped up in 2001 and is thus for legal purposes non-existent. That settlement included a confidentiality clause that niece Mary Trump signed, and which the elder Trumps have argued prevents her from publishing the sort of titillating family secrets her memoir is set to contain.
But Kelly asserted that his court could not provide the declaratory judgment blocking the book that Robert sought, and recommended the Trump brother try his luck in the New York State Supreme Court, which oversees civil and criminal matters. The surrogate court strictly handles the wills and assets of the deceased.
A spokesman for Simon & Schuster, Adam Rothberg, said in a statement, "We are delighted with Judge Kelly's decision to dismiss this case from the surrogate court. We look forward to publishing Mary L. Trump's Too Much and Never Enough, and are confident we will prevail should there be further efforts to stifle this publication."
Under the scenario presented, it cannot be successfully argued this dispute affects the administration of the decedent's estate, Kelly wrote. The irrefutable conclusion is, regardless of the outcome of this matter, the administration of this estate will not be impacted one iota.
Accordingly, the matter is dismissed.
In a statement to the Daily Beast, Mary Trump's attorney, Theodore Boutros Jr., said the ruling showed the court lacked jurisdiction. "We hope this decision will end the matter. Democracy thrives on the free exchange of ideas, and neither this court nor any other has authority to violate the Constitution by imposing a prior restraint on core political speech." A person familiar with the matter said it was likely the request for a restraining order against the book's publication would be refiled in another court. Indeed, Robert Trump's celebrity lawyer, Charles Harder, told the Daily Beast, Robert Trump, Mary Trump and the other family members who settled in 2001, agreed to jurisdiction of future disputes in the Surrogates Court of Queens County, New York. This matter therefore was filed in that court. Today, the Surrogates Court ruled that it does not have jurisdiction over the dispute. Therefore, Robert Trump will proceed with filing a new lawsuit in the New York State Supreme Court. The Daily Beast first reported that Mary had written a harrowing and salacious tell-all book which is slated to be released July 28 and is expected to blow the lid off the Trump family. As the Beast revealed yesterday, Robert Trump was in a neurosciences ICU with a serious condition just days before he filed the order to try to halt the publication of Mary's book.